this season following a loss, we hear from their head coach.
Hey, Frank, just wondering, at this point of the series, do you still feel like it's that game-to-game adjustments, or is key? Do you feel like you've already gotten a sense of most of the things that Miami does? How does that factor in once you get to a Game 5?
Yeah, you're always trying to anticipate what the other team is going to do from an adjustment standpoint, especially after you've won the most recent game. So, we got a long list of things that they could possibly go to that, we're working on today to prepare for.
Hey, Frank, before you guys departed for the bubble, we talked to you a lot about, preparing kind of your family for your time away. Now that we're at the end of it, what have your conversations been like with your wife and daughters as maybe they prepare for you to come back finally after a really long time? And how do you have to try to block that out going into a closeout game, or do you try to lean into it and use it with your team?
I probably prefer to keep my conversations with my family private, but in terms of blocking it out or using it, I would say I try to block it out. To me, this series is far from over. We've got a lot of work to do. This is a great basketball team that we're playing, and my focus is solely on all the little details that go into what we have to do to get one more win.
Allison?
Dave McMenamin.
Hey, Frank, LeBron said that he feels like the Laker experience for him has taught him that Laker fans don't care about what you did prior to putting on the purple and gold. And I wanted to know if you felt the same way yourself at all, if this has been a validating experience kind of in and of itself, separate from what happened in Indiana and Orlando.
Well, I could say it's been a great experience. I think this is the coolest franchise in the whole NBA. And the fan base, the history, Southern California, it's just there's nothing like the LA Lakers, and it's been an honor to be a part of it. I hope to add to its history with one more win, and I'm not sure if what happened with me prior to coming here has anything to do with it. For the fan base, they just want to see their team win and be back on top. We're in position to do so, but still, obviously, one more win.
All right, Will, back to you.
Okay, thank you. Alan Sliwa?
Hey, Coach, of course, always a lot of praise goes to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, as it should, but the role players in the last game, you had 27 points from the bench. Danny Green, KCP had some big shots. Can you just talk a little bit how important, just collectively as a team, every time it seems like somebody is doing exactly their role? If you could talk a little bit about that. Yeah,
that's been the story of our season. We set out at the beginning of the year to be a team that's greater than the sum of our parts, and to be a team-first team that has obviously our two megastars, but we needed everybody else to try to star in their roles. And without those guys, we don't win at nearly the level that we have. We are not in the position we are right now. And, like you said, I think KCP and Danny and Rondo the other night in particular were huge for us winning that basketball game. I think Kyle Kuzma is quietly having a huge impact on this series. Markieff Morris is having a huge impact on this series. Dwight sets the tone with his physicality. Both of our bigs have been great for us all year long. So, it's definitely a team effort in what we're trying to accomplish.
All right.
Brian? Cool, thank you. Sorry, Allison, go ahead. I'll get Brian next.
Okay, well, let's go with Dan.
Wow. I feel very important. Frank, when you sat down with Rob after you got hired and you guys kind of went to work on figuring out what this team was going to look like, what struck you about sort of his willingness to collaborate? I know he's spoken a lot about, talking to LeBron and talking to AD about stuff, and just what was it like working with Rob through that process?
Well, everyone always wants to talk about collaboration, but are not always willing to exhibit, that type of collaboration. And that's what struck me first, is that I was very, very involved in every personnel decision, really every organizational decision that was made from the time I was hired. And it really has been a wonderful partnership between Rob and myself, obviously extending to Jeannie and Kurt Rambis and Tim Harris, and then to our players, with starting with our captains, but all of our guys. We set out to achieve for organizational togetherness. And, I think Rob's relationship with me from the start set a great tone for that.
Kyle Goon?
In terms of the history of this franchise and so all the connections to the past, I know you talk about your deep respect for that, but what does Jeannie represent to you in that terms and feeling connected to the history of the franchise?
Obviously, Dr. Buss is who created the Laker way, and the love for the LA Lakers. Jeannie being a big part of that, obviously being raised through that and being a part of their rise, all those types of things. But for me, it's been a different dynamic with her leading the way now, and she's been an incredible leader for our organization. She has really given us every resource that we could ask for, has shown support in every way that you can support a coaching staff, a team, a front office. And she's just got a great demeanor about her. She's great to be around, and she's a huge part of why we're so connected.
Okay, back to you, Will.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I'll take two more for you. Brian Kamenetsky, please.
Hey, Frank, obviously you guys have preached all season long, one game at a time, whatever's right in front of you. But how much do you as a coach in preparation for tomorrow kind of take into account the human nature of understanding it's one game away, this thing is one game away, and allowing maybe for that to be part of your preparation, sort of an understanding of just the mentality, how hard it is to avoid thinking about it?
Well, like you said, all year long, the focus has remained on the task at hand, not on what's going to happen if we execute, and the result has never been at the forefront of our minds. And right now, we're not thinking about that. We're not thinking about tomorrow. We're not thinking about win or lose. Hey, we're thinking about how to guard pick and rolls, how to execute better offensively without turning the basketball over, all those types of things that fall in the bucket of the process and the task at hand, more so than what the result is going to lead if we're able to have success and get one more win.
All right, thank you. One more, Sean Hyken.
Frank, you're in this deep playoff run now in the bubble, and then you obviously had a few deep runs with Indy outside of the bubble. If you could maybe think back, which of them in terms of physically, mentally, the different challenges, which is harder and which is easier, or what the differences are, maybe even if one of them isn't harder or easier?
Bubble versus non-bubble?
Yeah, just for when you're in this conference final or the finals.
Well, I say obviously playing the road games is easier in the bubble because you're not really on the road. We have home court advantage, so I think that plays against us in some ways because the other team doesn't have to deal with the Laker fan base at Staples. I think the no travel has been easier on all of our schedules, sleep schedules, all those types of things. Those are probably the two biggest things.
Thank you.
All right.
6 for 19 on shots he's defended. Let's hear from AD.
Curious how you go to bed tonight, your mindset, thinking about one win away from a championship. How do you just try to stay focused on the game at hand, the task at hand? What's your mindset?
Try to keep the same routine. Try to change nothing. Obviously, this is an important game for us, important game for the Heat. But we try to go out there and do the same thing we've been doing to win 3 games. My focus is the same. Try to stick to the same routine. Watching the movie before bed. Go to sleep. Wake up and just kind of do the same thing that got me here, that got our team here. So you can't really put too much pressure on yourself, start overthinking and start overdoing things that just because it's a closeout game. But we know the importance of of this game from both sides, and just, we're gonna have fun with it.
Awesome.
David McMenamin?
AD, you guys are 4-0 wearing the Black Mamba uniforms. Obviously, you've spoken several times about the feeling that you get wearing it and wanting to honor his legacy. A closeout game is a difficult enough challenge as it is. Are you guys putting any extra burden on the opportunity of Friday night by also trying to stay undefeated in those uniforms?
If we come out and do what we're supposed to do, then we can remain undefeated. We just think that, for all the things, that happened this season, with our team specifically, in our organization, that to be able to close it out and, the Black Mamba uniforms will just make it all worth it. Obviously his legacy in the NBA and then just with the organization period, is something special. And for us to, like I said, close it out, in his honor, it's something that we look forward to. Something that, an insane amount of pressure for sure, because we don't want to lose. We don't want to let them down. Anytime we lose in the jerseys, we feel like, we let them down, and we don't want to do that. We want to remain undefeated, but, if we come in and do the things that we're supposed to do on both ends of the floor, then we can remain undefeated and close this thing out and make this moment even more special.
Calgoon?
Obviously, you talked about the strides you wanted to make in Game 3, made a lot of those strides in Game 4. Do you feel like you've locked into your process of how you can be the type of player that you were in Game 4 in every game and for the rest of this series?
For sure. It started with me just getting back to, the defensive end. Once I'm locked in defensively, covering for guys, blocking shots, talking, everything else kind of just falls in place, for me and for the team. Once I'm playing with energy, it kind of just trickled down to everyone else, and we seem to play well. They give us that confidence offensively, give us that confidence defensively. But we love challenges. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy challenge for us to close it out. But if we come in and guys are locked into what we're supposed to be doing, both ends of the floor, starting with myself and Bron, then we think we have a pretty good chance of winning tomorrow night.
Dan?
AD, Rob finished 7th in the Executive of the Year voting. He only got one first place vote. He's been very open about collaborating with you, collaborating with LeBron, collaborating with Frank. Do you think that willingness to collaborate maybe muddies what he's done in his thumbprint on this organization? And I guess what's it been like working with him all year to build the team and to get to this point?
Great GM, great executive. Maybe, but I know and the entire organization know the work he's put in to put this team together, to build this team, to compete for a championship and to be one win away. I know those awards don't matter to him. Championships do. And, we put ourselves in a position, he put our team in a position to be able to be one win away. And, once we, finish our jobs and do what we're supposed to do, then I don't think no one's going to care about Executive of the Year. But his willingness to talk to me and Bron and Coach Vogel about decisions and whatever else that we talk about. He includes us in a ton of things, and I think that's what a GM and executive should do. Include his top two guys and include his head coach. And if that doesn't get him that award, then so be it. But and it would just make it even more special to win it. Now that I know, he came in seventh, got one first place vote. That kind of just been a thing this year, with myself with Defensive Player of the Year, Bron with MVP, now Rob with Executive of the Year. But if we able to win one more game, then no one cares about those other awards. We'll all be champions.
All right, we'll send it back to you, Will, for last couple.
Thank you. Alan Sliwa?
AD, you just mentioned it right there. At the end of the day, the championship is all that matters. But does that kind of add a chip to your shoulder, or does it add a chip to LeBron's shoulder? If some of those individual awards you guys don't get, does that almost in a sense help to go and strive for that ultimate championship, which I know you guys are doing anyways, but does it add an extra element to it?
I can't speak for Bron, but it does for myself. Especially on the defensive end. I feel like I put a lot of work on the defensive end, being able to guard multiple positions and different actions. And so anytime I play on the defensive end, I try to lock in and, get a stop every time. But like you said, those, individual awards obviously have meaning. You never want to take away from those. But at the same time, the ultimate goal for every team is to win a championship. And, people can talk about winning MVPs and things like that, but I think you get remembered most by winning championships, being a champion. And I think that, if we're able to close this thing out, then, that's what people remember. I don't think people are going to remember, individual awards as much as they remember championships. And, that's our mindset, just to go out there and win.
All right, I'm going to take one more for you. Melissa Rowland?
Hey, D. LeBron talked about how Game 4 was one of the most important games of his career. I'm curious, after 10 NBA Finals, why do you think it was that significant to him, and what's the significance of all of this right now to you?
I don't know why it was his most important game or why it was significant to him. But for me, I want to win my first title. I want to win my first ring. So he's been there several times. He told me that it was a must-win game. Game 4 was, and told our team. And all you can do is trust a guy that's been in that situation 10 times. And we all believed in him. We all trusted him, and we tried to make sure that we go out there and complete the task. I'm not sure we're going to get one of those same messages, but and I don't think we really need it. I think we all know that tomorrow night is also a must-win for us, just as much as a must-win for the Heat, which is going to make it even more fun for both teams. And it's been a great journey for me. It's been great battling with these guys night in, night out, every other day. From regular season to being in the bubble, just being with these guys and this coaching staff and competing and learning and figuring out ways that we can be better. So my journey's been great. This definitely means a lot to me. But as far as why Game 4 was the biggest playoff game of LeBron's career, we haven't talked about it, so I really don't know.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.